All right, board members, if you would, speak into your microphones. Unfortunately, we are struggling with our monitors. There's only actually two worked. We ran a line, direct feed into those two, one for the chair and anybody sitting next to them. So everything will be up on the screen. I apologize for having to make you turn around. We just, we don't know what the problem is right now, so.
Just let me know when you're ready to go, Jack.
Maybe I'm gonna get rid of that. All right, Mr. Chairman, ready when you are.
Okay, welcome everybody. The January 18th meeting of the Cecil Township Planning Commission will call to order at 7:09. First item on the agenda is our reorganization for 2024. Do we have any motions for, or any nominations for chairman?
I nominate Jason Crott.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, next we have vice chair.
I nominate Christy Budovich as vice chairman.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a nomination and a second. Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
You as well, sir.
And secretary.
I nominate Dave.
I second the motion.
And we have a motion and a second for the nomination. Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Congrats, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of previous meetings minutes.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to add the approval of the October meeting minutes.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, as a side note, I'm going to have to reissue the agenda for tonight, so once the meeting's over, I'll add that motion that was just made and then recirculate that and also post it on our website for the addition of the October minutes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, at the October meeting, there were only 3 commission members in attendance, myself, Mr. Coldren, and Mr. Gump. Mr. Gump is no longer a member of this commission. He's now faithfully serving on the Zoning and Hearing Board. So that means that with 3 members present, and only 2 of the 3 of us would need to approve of those minutes to approve them.
I'll make a motion to approve the October Planning Commission meeting minutes.
Okay, and I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda are the minutes from the December 21st meeting.
I move to approve the Cecil Township Planning Commission meeting notes dated December 21st, 2023.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. All right. Next item on the agenda is review of previous decisions. Jack, do you have anything for us?
I do. Joe, if you will jump in at any point, feel free. At the last Board of Supervisors meeting, January 2nd, 2024, they considered application 2023-0011, the Gerber Collision Site Plan. It was adopted contingent upon addressing the comments of the township engineer. Also, application 2023-0038, Hiram subdivision plan, similar, contingent upon them addressing the comments of the township engineer. The Omatic subdivision plan, application 2023-0039, also contingent again on addressing the comments of the township engineer. The Muse Elementary Playground Site Plan that we discussed, that was, they finally did adopt that, isn't that right, Joe? Do you remember? I wasn't there. Okay. They did, there was some discussion on that, location and that type of thing, but that was adopted. So that was application 2023-0040. Application 2023-0041, Level Up Subdivision Plan was adopted, contingent on addressing the township engineer's notes. They weren't voluminous. There is a hearing. It's going to be a public hearing on February 5th at 6 p.m. here prior to the monthly Board of Supervisors meeting for Level Up. So that will be the next step. Let's see, and that's the next item I had on the list, and then the Campbell consolidation. That was received board approval, and it just needed the reapproval just to close that loop. So that's what came out of the January 2nd meeting.
So Jack, let me understand, these items were brought before us, and we approved them conditional upon them addressing items in gateway letters.
Correct.
I think in all of them in this case. And it sounds like in pretty much every case, all but maybe one case, there were still unresolved items when it got to the Board of Supervisors?
There were a couple pending, granted that tends to be boilerplate language, but there were one or two items, whether it's on the plan. If you read over the letters from the engineer, a lot of it has to do with the plans that were submitted, and it was corrections and that type of thing. So there was nothing major. Most of the items that were in front of us were corrected. There may have been one or two things giving timeliness and those types of things that prevented them from completing them up to the Board of Supervisors meeting, but they were adopted based on their note that they would complete those.
Any feedback from that? I know in the past, years ago, that was a big issue.
Yep.
Where we were approving things contingent upon things being addressed, and they were getting before the Board of Supervisors and still had rather lengthy items that still needed to be addressed.
When you said recorded, we're not going to record until after these items are completed. So the board felt that the items that were listed were nominal to the point that they could be completed, and within the 4 weeks from January to the February meeting, they could be completed, and we could actually record those plans, finalize it.
If you don't mind, just convey to the Board of Supervisors when, if they're starting to run into problems with that again, we can start
Sure.
addressing that again. I know for a while there, we had to start tabling a lot of stuff and even denying a few applications here or there to get the message across that things need to, be more complete
Okay.
in a more timely manner. So if it's not an issue right now, then so be it, but if that starts to creep up and be a problem, just let us know.
What I'll do is I'll provide you with the reasons for that verbiage in there on each one of those items. I'll send it out to you after the meeting tonight so that you know exactly why that it was adopted or accepted contingent on those letters. Joe, do you have anything else to add on those, or do you know of anything else that,
No, I don't.
okay?
Let me add one thing. I think, most of these subdivisions as they come through, Gateway's the one that's taking them down to the county and getting them recorded.
Right.
So we get a final check on them to make sure that those outstanding items have been addressed.
Sure, and I understand before recording, but, Dave, I know you were here and you remember those conversations. I think it was before the two of you, you were members of the commission, but, it was starting to get bad, where things were being approved contingent upon those items being addressed. And then every month, there was multiple applications going to the Board of Supervisors, and nobody was taking that approval contingent upon seriously, and then items weren't being addressed. And the Board of Supervisors at that point in time gave direction back saying, we need you to hold the line a little tighter here, because it's creating a problem when it comes time to record.
One example I will is the Gerber Collision Site Plan. They had filed actually two extensions to get things taken care of. So while I agree with you, I think, Gateway Engineers is really holding everybody's feet to the fire. And, we have one coming up when it comes time tonight that I'm going to mention some things. One of the reasons that I want to recommend possibly tabling it. So, but yeah, they're the, they stand in the gap on everything that we do. So it's not like we're putting the township out there. It goes through them because they actually take it to Washington County and record it. So unless it's absolutely 100%, a lot of these tonight, you'll see in the letters, it could be something on the map. Maybe the notation is not big enough, so they requested that. And there's a couple items like that in all of them, so.
But that puts a big burden on them as well. So
It does.
it's a lot cleaner for everybody, and it's a lot less administrative work on the back end. If
Understand.
the applications, are, and the plans are all clean and addressed prior to being approved, so that everything just move forward without everyone having to go back and double and triple check things before.
Maybe for the good and welfare of the board and everybody in the audience, you can understand our process. We have a cutoff now. The cutoff for next month will be tomorrow at noon. So everything that's going to be on the board's agenda for next month is going to be in by noon tomorrow. We then take all that and we send it to Gateway. Gateway reviews each one of those over a period of time, and we want to give them a maximum amount of time to review it. Out comes these letters that you'll get periodically or you'll get sporadically that we all get, and that's the initial review, right? Prior to the Planning Commission meeting, they will review it again and then let us know if we have to pull it off the agenda or not. Because it's not at that point. The only thing that ends up on that agenda is something the Gateway has said, go ahead with it, contingent on these items. So it's their professional opinion that the items that they list are not that severe that it couldn't be okay, but, fix it, so.
I know, I appreciate the discussion and the explanation.
Okay,
I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
sounds good.
And I agree. I think it's good that you brought this up, because there's really a balance, because we do want to make things move forward and help the applicants move forward that are, that as appropriate. But if there's something more material, it needs to be looked at better. And Gateway Engineers, I give kudos to you. You really do point out the things that if there's something that really troubles you, and that helps us a lot too.
Thank you.
Well spoken by our legal counsel.
This will not be construed as legal advice.
I want to second what you said as far as, Gateway really catching things and really being on top of it. I mean, the stuff we throw at them, sometimes it's piecemeal, sometimes it's all at one time. Sometimes it's after the date, the due date, so, but thank you.
Okay. There were no items on the agenda for old business, so we'll move forward with new business. The first item is application 2024-0001, Dunn subdivision number 1. Applicant Elmer Dunn.
I believe, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion to table application 2024-0001, the Dunn subdivision number 1.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to table and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And next is application 2024-0002, Del Vecchio subdivision.
Anybody here representing Del Vecchio? Yes, sir. I'm just going to put this up on the screen so everybody can see it. That couldn't be. It's not. This is the one that I was given by. All right, is this the one that came in at like 5 minutes to 5? Okay. We leave at 4 o'clock. All right, I think I put the copy of that letter in front of you. So let me pull this up quickly and we can move forward. Okay, is it?
I'm Scott Groom from KLH Engineers. This is a subdivision, or actually a lot line shift for Ermano and Ellen Del Vecchio. They ended up with a ranch house and half of a duplex on one property. So what they wanted to do is to shift the line north and have the duplex on one property and there we go. That button. Okay. So the line was here. This half of the duplex was on the same property as the ranch. They wanted to move this property line over, so the duplex is now on one property and the ranch is on a different property. The comments that we got were we didn't show the setback lines. We had them in the table, but we hadn't shown them. So now the setback lines have all been added to the plan. In this zone, in a built-out village, the front setback line is the average of the adjoining properties or buildings. So we averaged those two. We came up with a front building line of 14.23 feet, and that's the way we've reflected it on the drawing. We added dimensions from all of the structures to all of the property lines to show their compliance. We've renamed the lots 246 and 247 from the original plan of lots. And we had a typo in the owner certification. We forgot to put a page number in over here, and we have added that page number to the plan. So we've addressed all the comments.
Okay, and sorry, your name is?
Scott Groom,
And you represent?
KLH Engineers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. If nobody has any questions, I will gladly make a motion. Yes.
When we first started looking at this, there were, I believe, were there 2 houses on this lot?
Well, there was half of a duplex, so there was half of a house or half of a duplex.
Okay.
This lot line Maybe that'd be easier. This lot line did not exist.
Okay,
There,
okay.
we could not find a subdivision that separated the duplex.
Okay.
There was just a deed for it, but we're correcting that now.
Okay.
And we labeled that line to be extinguished.
I missed that part, thank you.
That's okay.
It's a good cleaning up, so.
I'll make a motion to approve application 2024002, the Del Vecchio subdivision lot line revision. Contingent on it appears that all comments in the letter to Gateway Engineers from January 15th have been addressed.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next item on the agenda, application 2024-0004, 275 Technology Parkin Addition Site Plan. Applicant is 275 Tech V LLC.
Somebody here from, do you just want the plan up? Yes. Don't work. Good.
Hello, my name is Rachel McCune with Langen Engineering, and I'm here for the preliminary land development submission of a parking lot located at 275 Technology Drive. The parking lot is proposed to be about 157 new spaces with 9 existing spaces being repaved. The parking lot is adjacent to a previous design parking lot in this area here, in support of the building located off to the screen. We got several comments from Gateway that are being addressed. One of them, major comments being the lighting plan, where a new lighting plan is being prepared to show 1-foot candles throughout the parking lot area. The other major comment was regarding the grading along the western boundary to be closer than 3 feet and in some areas over the property line. That has been adjusted in the plans that we would be resubmitting to show the grading is no longer. And then the other comments will be addressed to Gateway. We do have one follow-up question regarding the slope of the pipe. For all slopes needing to be 2%. Here. Due to all of these pipes being 2% slope and then connecting into our detention system and then setting the detention system at the elevation needed from 2% down and then going over to where our connection inlet is here, this pipe mathematically would need to be 1%, so that's something we need to work out with Gateway, what their preference would be. We have run conveyance that shows that this pipe has capacity for the amount of flow that's exiting our MRC system. So we can talk about that in our review letter as well. But again, this is for the preliminary land development.
Dave, you're my expert there.
I think it's pretty straightforward. Any other comments from Gateway?
Yeah, I think, considering the number of comments that are here that are outstanding, and there's, the other thing that generally has to be addressed here, especially when you're in the South Point development, is although it's not required by the township, it would be best for them to go to SPOA and get SPOA's approval of what they're proposing here for this land development.
It has been submitted to them, so
Okay.
we're waiting on their approval.
Okay, so I think, so once you get that approval, I think, provide a copy of that letter to the township and Gateway. The other thing, couple questions came up after going through this. Is there any reason why these two parking lots aren't being combined together and being consolidated on one parcel of property? You got two separate parcels of property for parking lots.
Yeah, we're evaluating that with the client, and potentially we will be consolidating. We'll have a determination before we would resubmit.
Okay, and then the other thing, I guess, was some accessibility, being more than 600 feet away from the primary user of this parking lot. I mean, that needs to be addressed. And I think, consolidation would help achieve that. So, I mean, I think, I don't know what your schedule is for getting this parking lot constructed. I mean, here it is January. I don't think anything would be done before April on this parking lot. I mean, it would be my recommendation that the board table the plan until all the outstanding items are addressed, because some of these are pretty significant.
Any thoughts, Dave?
And come back in February,
Come back in February, yes.
right? There would be no issue with having to miss that meeting.
Right.
Assuming these can be addressed.
Correct.
I guess my question is, maybe this was a confusion here for preliminary versus final. My understanding was we had to go through preliminary first and then through final submission.
I think, you've got a number of items here, and I don't see any reason, if you can get all these addressed, you come back in February and ask for both preliminary and final.
Together, okay.
Together.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend.
That
you
was
do.
my question. We were just
Sure.
asking for preliminary
Sure.
today, not preliminary and final, so that still works with our schedule.
Yeah, I think
so-
it should work with your schedule. I mean, you got
Yeah.
a first view of, first pass of what's expected for the review. You come back in February, ask for preliminary and final, and you probably should get it.
Okay, that was
then-
my misunderstanding.
and then I
We
think-
thought it had to be preliminary,
No, that's
then
fine.
final, so.
And I think what I would recommend that you do is, get in contact with SPOA and ask them what their timeline is for providing you with a review,
Yep,
okay?
Yeah, and there's really no benefit to getting preliminary tonight.
No, there isn't.
No.
okay.
You're
That was,
fine.
we thought we
You're
had
fine.
to get preliminary, then come back a month later, get final.
You're fine.
So,
And we do put a lot of credence in SPOA's opinion on these matters within South Point, so.
yeah, so if we're tabling, could we potentially table till March, since as of today, if our plans are due tomorrow, we don't have that approval from them, just to make sure we have all of those check marked?
What?
Okay. That makes more sense, okay.
No, you're fine.
Nailed it.
I'll make a motion, we table application 2024-0004, 275 Technology Parking Edition Site Plan.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to table in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item.
Please, can you give me 1 minute, please?
Do you have anything to add, Jack? Where are
I'm
you?
going to pull up the calendar, see some planning commission. So for February's, February 16th, the application date is January 20th. Okay, just so you know. Oh, I'm sorry, you know what, this is 2023. I saw this here, it should be Friday, it should be tomorrow. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the Friday after the planning commission meeting. So, our guess is correct that it would have to go on a March meeting, given that,
I apologize, I misunderstood the timeline between supervisors and us.
I was following with you. I was about to say the same thing, so
Yeah.
we all had this wrong.
Okay, that's fine, I'm just bringing it to your attention. I do have the calendar out there, I will send it to everybody. And if you stick around, I'll give you a hard copy of it later tonight, okay? No, it's fine, I just want to make it clear, because we hold that noon deadline pretty hard. It's when things come in after that, you know, we try to make it happen, but it doesn't, it gets sticky after that, so, okay, all right. Okay.
Good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, application 2024-0005, rank plan of lots number 2, lot line revision.
Mr. Ray? Oh, you're, okay.
Hi, all. My name is Zach Belhai. I am here at the request of Mr. Rank as the buyer of the new property that is being proposed through the lot line revision. Nothing really to present to the group, just here to address any questions or concerns that the commission may have with the proposed new lot line.
What was your name again?
Zach Belhai.
He is a resident of Cecil Township.
I am.
Board members, you have seen this before. Mr. Rank's been in here, I think, 2 or 3 times with the same plan. For whatever reason, I cannot make this smaller.
Can you come down more, Jack?
We're at,
There, right there. I mean, it's basically, they're shifting that lot line.
can you talk to the microphone?
Oh, sure. They're basically just taking that lot line of the existing parcel where the Zs are and rotating it in the northwest direction to create a larger parcel B, and then they'll extinguish that old property line. I mean, all of our comments have been addressed. A couple minor things there. Proof of review from Washington County Planning Commission is the only thing that would be outstanding, but other than that, there's no new lots being created, so a planning module's not required. Quite simple.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve application 2024-0005, rank plan of lots, lot line revision, contingent upon the comments from Gateway's January 15th, 2024 letter being addressed.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Next item on the agenda,
Did,
2023 annual report.
yeah, did everybody have a chance to review it? Couple of things I wanted to, there was just one in particular that I wanted to call to your attention. Busy year, as you can see. I really, really want to call your attention to the graphic representation of applications, et cetera, probably in the later pages. I don't think that's numbered, but it's further down, page 6 or 7. Here it is right here. There's no page number on that. Okay. call your attention to the single-family detached homes, significant. Those are construction costs that you're looking at, but, I mean, this is a result of McConnell's Trails and a few others. So we did do quite a few, well, finished up McConnell's Trails for one thing, and other single-family dwellings. A little bit lower on some other areas. If we go back to the chart, you'll notice here, single-family attached, slightly above, where's my 2023? A little bit above this year over previous years. But it was a good year, and, with Liz being out on maternity leave for 12 weeks and other things, I think we all did a very good job. So thank you for your support as well. A little sketchy there, a couple weeks, but it's all good.
Check.
Yeah.
The, including the zoning hearing board rulings, is that a new addition this year? I don't recall seeing that.
It is. She combined them. Liz Ross, our zoning official, actually does this, and she gathers all this information. I believe she submits it to the county as well. But she combined them this year instead of doing two separate.
Yeah, I gotta say, I actually really appreciate that, because that's something that previously we ever got to see, and it's nice to see what, where people are asking to push
Yeah.
on the boundaries, sometimes literally, sometimes figuratively, and where the township is in agreement for that, so.
Yeah, I noticed some numbering differences. I'm seeing 2022 and 2023. You have the 2023 report in front of you. I somehow got a copy of, I'm not sure how this ended up with 2022 on there, but that is the current one.
Yeah, ours says 2023, so.
Yeah. The hard copy is, what I have is, up on the screen is actually saying 2022, so I'll check into that, but those numbers are for 2023. I think the number one thing we did from a building standpoint of view was decks. We did more decks from actually February through October than I can imagine. And solar panels. We did a lot of solar panels for roofs. And, I think, I don't know where the saturation point is for solar panel payback. I guess we're going to find out, because I want to say we have about 19 homes with solar panel roofs now in and around Cecil Township.
I think that's a good thing. And I'm not shocked by decks.
Yeah.
Every time I go past the McConnell Trail property, it's,
Apparently, they were not included with the blueprints or with the housing. They were additions. Other plans, they come, already considered. So that's where we opt on the deck plans.
I think that's sometimes a function of whether it's a high side or a low side lot.
Interesting. Okay.
Because when you have a low side lot, there's probably a greater chance that you have on a deck. Whereas if you have a high side lot, you're gonna have a patio out the back
Yeah.
door from the kitchen. And you're right, they don't include them as part of the package. That's an add-on.
Yeah, that is an add-on. And one of the good things is, from February to October, I think we only had two situations where the deck was proposed to go over the CTMA right-of-way. And that, they got the permission, but that was not an issue. It wasn't like they're right on the edge, and you got that sewer line right along the back, like some of these housing plans have. So really, I can think of maybe one or two issues we had all year. Other than that, everything was really smooth.
nice. Anybody have any questions about
I
that?
think it's very well done. Thank you.
Yeah, she always does a great job. I'll pass that on to her.
And thank you for the comparisons with the graphs from the past few years in the back so that you can see where we've grown, where things have been modified a little bit or focused more on. Thank you.
Yeah, she, she spent some time, a little bit of time on this. And like I said, I'm not sure what happened with you. If you check your electronic copy that you got via email, it may have the 2022 on there, but just understand that it's the same thing that you have right in front of you, so.
Yeah, I didn't notice it, but I could easily looked it over.
Yeah, see, that's why I kept flipping by as the audience was sitting here, because that's saying 2022 there. And it just, I think, you know, I think it was just an accident.
Is there a need to formally accept this? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
there
do.
is?
We
Okay.
do have to formally accept it, yeah.
Okay, well, I will make a motion, we accept the Cecil Township Planning and Zoning Commission's 2023 annual report.
I second.
Very smooth. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Report is approved.
Yeah, very well done, Jack. All this, a lot of work, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's awesome. She really is. I mean, she does most everything. You know, she sets all this up and gets all these applications. And even when she was on maternity leave, believe me, I texted her and called her quite a bit because every single application is different that comes in here. I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing cookie cutter about, you know, what the residents want. And, you know, and ultimately we want to serve them the best we can. Sometimes it's a challenge. So, but she does a great job.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the ordinances and amendments. We have the Interstate Highway Overlay District.
Yes, you do. I mean, I believe Deanne had emailed everybody a copy of what he
Yes.
had drafted together. And I think, you know, basically what it comes down to is looking at where single-family and combination residential and businesses are to be located. And per this revision for the ordinance, for uses by right, single-family residential land is only to be east of Morganza Road. And then uses by right, combination residential land, they're only to be permitted on land east of Morganza Road. So I, you know, take it from this that there's not to be anything west of Morganza Road related to residential.
Correct.
There should be a copy in all of your packets.
Yeah.
The last one on there.
So I think this has been discussed in the past and is looking for an approval so this can be moved on to the Board of Supervisors.
It looks like everything in it is exactly what we discussed last month, and anything is addressed that we had talked about, so.
Okay.
Does anybody have any comments?
Well, so this would be in line with what we talked about last month about removing the overlay district, like, so that would remove that residential component where had been the Coal Valley, for instance, and makes it all commercial.
No, what it did was it removed, previously, the overlay district allowed residential and commercial land use over the whole district.
Yes.
In between Morganza and the interstate, they're removing the residential component in there.
Right, that's what I was trying to say, in different words.
Okay.
Just
So,
making sure
okay.
we're on the same page.
All right,
there.
so
Yeah, yeah,
we're all
yeah.
on the same page. Okay.
Yeah, commercial only between Morganza and the interstate, and then commercial or residential on the other side of Morganza. Which I still have the opinion that ultimately, I think it may serve the township to look at rezoning, you know, actual rezoning using MUC, MUR, if those continue to work out the way we hope they do. And because I think the overlay district creates a lot of confusion
I
for
think so
some
too.
people. So I think that could simplify things and accomplish the same goal. But that's a discussion for another day. So, I don't have any questions. Does anybody have a motion?
I can do it. I will make a motion to approve the IHPD amendment, ordinance number to be determined
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
2024, as presented by Gateway Engineers.
yeah, once it goes to the board, they'll assign the ordinance number. It'll probably be 1 of 2024.
I second.
We have a motion to approve in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Any correspondence or announcements? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Any discussion? Motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned at 7:55.